Yeah, maybe I should have seen this first one. Everyone, back for another review. Today we're doing Mathew Vaughan's follow-up to the 2014 hit. This was our third movie of the day, so we were pretty tired. We saw it in IMAX though. It was a lot of fun, but it has its issues. So let's get right into Kingsman and the Golden Circle. Alright, director Mathew Vaughan had brought us excellent films, like he brought us the first Kick-Ass. He brought us X-Men First Class. He brought us the first Kingsman movie. He is very well at shooting action movies, and this movie is no different. I will premise anything I say afterwards because me and Jeff didn't see the first one. And that can be a positive and a negative in this movie. So let's get into it. This movie takes place right after part 1. XC is now a full Kingsman, and shit breaks down. A lot of this is going to sound like spoiler talk, but a lot of it was revealed in the promotional material and the trailers. The Kingdoms get wiped out. I won't say why because that is a spoiler. Kingsman gets wiped out. Eggsy and Merlin have to travel to America to find out their brotherhood that they didn't even know exists, the Statesmen, which is the US version of them. The difference between them is the Kingsmen are tailors, the Statesmen sell alcohol. Typical of those US people. There's this whole story about Julianne Moore playing as Poppy, the main villain, who is a drug distributor, and she's laced all her drugs with stuff that can kill you. And in that, the Kingsmen and the Statesmen have to figure out how to stop her evil plans because she's blackmailing the whole world. There are a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of good things. Action in this movie is very good. I love the action. They use slow motion, but they use slow motion in the same time as using kind of bullet time from the Matrix, where you will see a shot, it will go into slow motion, but the camera will start rotating, so you get all the angles for it. Mathew Vaughan does these scenes really well, and they're really effective for the most part. As soon as the opening fight scene starts, it's a really cool fight scene. Nothing can deny that. Xy's a very good character. The introduction of the first person who introduced Xy to the Kingsman returns in this movie, and that's not a spoiler because he's in all the promotional material once again. And I kind of felt that would have been a more solid lead or a more, rah-rah moment if it wasn't revealed in the posters, the trailers, and everything like that. I really like the statement. If you're going into this movie wanting to see Channing Tatum, don't go to this movie. Channing Tatum is basically a prop character. He's in it for a couple minutes here and there, and that's it. This is kind of reminiscent of his performance or his appearance in The Hateful Eight. You knew he was in it, but he does nothing, and he's in it for mere minutes. He was probably there for like 3 days shooting. I like Poppy. Julianne Moore absolutely eats up the scenery in every act she is. She is so over the top. It's funny, and it's actually pretty good. She's located on a remote island, stuck in the 80s, but has everything designed as if they were in the 50s. And she leads to some pretty gruesome moments in this, and she's absolutely look like she's having a ball in this movie. The emotional tension, some of it never got to me. Like I said, the reappearance of the first agent from Kingsman didn't really hit me because I didn't see the first Kingsman movie. But at the same time, I feel like the action felt new to me because I didn't see the first one. So that's a takeaway giveaway. XC is perfect. He's really good in this movie. He's really charming. The bad parts of this movie's overly long. This movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes when it really didn't. I really didn't care about XC's friends. I didn't care about his love interest. While that could have been fun in a smaller dose, in this large action movie, it was unnecessary. I think Mathew Vaughan is very good at shooting action movies, framing action movies, far better than Bryan Singer. But at the same time, this is a movie that his original cut was 3 hours and 15 minutes, or 3 hours and 20 minutes, something like it. It was over 3 hours. And I can't imagine how torturous that would have been to watch. This movie was hard to watch at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it had good action sequences. The reveal or the turn at the end, while it did have a good fight sequence, was totally unnecessary. I was just like wanting, like, let me leave. That could have been a product of me being at the third movie. But at the same time, I just feel like I was just watching it going, this doesn't need to happen. Let's move on and let's end this movie. The ending was perfectly fine. I kind of liked it. With the Statesman and the Kingsman kind of joining forces finally. If you go into this movie wanting to see the Statesman, don't expect to get a lot of it. There is one fun action sequence with a lasso that a lot of us saw parts of it in the previews or the trailers. That was really fun. I'm not gonna lie, there were times it tried to get it emotional and it did work, and there were times it didn't. I won't get into which ones did work, but the reveal of the first agent coming back was, you know, you didn't have to watch the first one to understand it. You probably kind of had to watch the first one to get it or feel emotional about it, but that's about it. It was a fun action movie. We saw it in IMAX, so it was loud, it was large, and that's kind of the way you have to kind of watch these movies. Well, I did have a lot of fun. It was overly long, and it didn't need to be. This is kind of one of those movies where the editors needed to take charge. But with that said, I give Kingsman and the Golden Circle a 6.8. Not quite there with the action movies we've seen this year, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun. And I might be giving it too high a rating because right now it's on 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Once again, this is a movie where I didn't see the first one, so at the same time I could have felt the emotional heft of having seen the first one, but at the same time you kind of get the feeling if you saw the first one, the action wouldn't have been as good. So take that for what it's worth. It is a fun time at the movies though, so I'll give it that. That's it for now. Talk to you later.